Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of the Little Guys Video Podcast. We have a store. It's at 191st and LaGrange Road in Mokina, where I-80 meets Mokina, or Mokina meets I-80, however you'd like to say it. Store hours are Monday through Thursday from 10 until 6, Friday and Saturday from 10 until 5, and we're closed on Sunday. You can go to our website, which is thelittleguys.com, and you can sign up to get our emails, specials, newsletters. We don't bombard you, but if you'd like to hear about things, it'd be good to sign up on the website. Today we have lost David. I think we have a few salespeople out sick. So Tom Gunderson is with us, and Tom normally just runs the board, but he's multi-talented, so he can participate in the podcast as well.
Hello there.
Hi.
So yes, we kicked David out. We've removed him from the show due to popular demand. So, but for the next half hour or so, he's working the front counter. So if you want that extra special deal, he's there right now.
That's true.
Come and see him. Come and see David. So yes. So we got a few things to talk about, and I apologize for my weird camera angle because I gotta watch this thing work while we're conversating. So
dual duty, yes.
Dual duty, and Evie's really over here, so it looks like I'm looking over there. So I could look like this, but then Evie's gonna think I'm ignoring her. So it'll be fun. We'll get through it though. It'll be good. You can always send in your comments too to right on Facebook, right on this video, and we see them. Pops up on my phone right here, actually.
Okay.
Used to use an iPad, takes up too much space, so I downgraded to the iPhone. We have not a large podcasting studio.
No,
it's cozy.
It is cozy, but you can always. I mean, it's nice to hear from you during the show, but you can always send an email to info@thelittleguys.com with any question. Whether you want an immediate answer, we'll give you an immediate answer. If you want us to answer it on the next podcast, not a problem at all. But in the meantime, you can comment and ask questions on this Facebook podcast.
Yep. So what are we talking about today, Evie? We got a couple of things.
I think we're going to talk about cutting the cable. There's probably 5 customers a day who come in and say, I want to cut the cable.
Yes, we get that. So that's part of the reason why I'm sitting in here today versus David, besides the fact we need his help up front. I have not paid for cable or satellite service in going on over 6 years now at my house.
Wow.
It's been that long. And so I have some experience with it. And the first thing is are you eligible to cut the cord? Well, first of all, let's take a step back. John and I were talking about this morning. We're not really cutting. You're not really cutting the cord. You're just shifting cords.
That's true.
Because you still need some way of getting some kind of content to your house. Now, traditionally, it has been either over satellite or over the air antenna or through cable companies like Comcast, RCN, WOW, whoever may be in your area. The fact of the matter is while we may not be buying TV services from those guys, we still need internet. Now, DirecTV doesn't provide internet, but they're now part of the AT&T family.
Yes.
So together they do have a way of getting you internet to get you content. Then Comcast obviously has internet, and in Chicago it's pretty much our fastest option currently. AT&T is starting to pull some fiber some places, so they're starting to have some bigger connection speeds. But
so when people say they want to cut the cable, they never say I want to cut the internet. They need and want the internet, and the bills for both together tend to get larger and larger and larger.
Correct.
And so the cable is the one that they blame for everything. They need the internet, but
right.
The cable they blame for the large bills.
Or the common thing of, I pay for so many channels that I don't watch.
Well, that's mine all the time.
Right.
Why do we have all these channels? There's nothing on.
There's a dozen channels that I watch, and I'm paying for 100 of them, and I don't watch the rest of them, and can my bill be cheaper, or do I want to continue to pay it? I would say our average customer, we're seeing $200 to $300 a month bills for their internet and TV services.
It's getting insane.
And I know we have customers that have broached $500-600 a month. I've seen the bills. So when you just want everything and you get everything, it comes at a price. So some people do it out of wanting to save money. When we get the question is, can I cut the cord? There's a pretty easy qualifying question. of a yes or a no. This is our first layer. Do you watch sports?
Yes.
If you watch sports, then the rest of this probably isn't going to work for you. Although stay tuned because there are some new developments. But pretty much, if you're a sports person, you're going to have to pay for a cord of some sort from Comcast or DirecTV to watch these sporting events. It is not available free. And we're going to talk about all these things we talk about today are in terms of things that are able to be resold and supported by a company. Not my friend can get this through a computer through a Fire Stick that was jailbroke through. Yes, we are fully aware of.
Right, we're talking about legal means to get
illegitimate options that can watch. Like in the old days of DirecTV, you go get the access cards, the fake cards, and put them in. And you can watch everything until DirecTV shut that one down, and you go do it again, and they shut that one down, and you do it again. So of course, there's ways of doing things, and unfortunately, in a lot of those ways, while they may have varying degrees of success, most of them are not high definition. They're really crummy second generation, third generation low definition feeds. Trying to watch a playoff hockey game on a internet based stream from Russia that is at low def. You may be able to listen on the radio.
It reminds me of the days when people were, thought that they were really cool. They were stealing cable, but one half of the picture was on one side and the other half was on the other side, and it was all squiggly lines and stuff. And you could barely make out that there was a picture there, but you should probably give yourself a stroke trying to watch it.
That's right. So we're going to put those methods aside. We know they're out there. We know you can do it. I see every day on Facebook, I see somebody saying, hey, I've got Fire Sticks for $35. You go watch everything you want to watch. As a company, that's not something we can support or do. Whatever you want to do with your free time, that's up to you.
Right.
So, that being said, there are still lots of ways to cut the cord altogether. So let's just start with what I did. This was 6 years ago. And listen, I have four children, and my wife and I. So, there was some nervousness about if we do this, is everybody going to be happy?
Right.
So what I did was we had DirecTV. We live in the country. For those who don't know that, cable's not an option. It doesn't come down our street. So we had DirecTV, and we were happy with it, but it was getting more and more. I think we were up to $150 a month, and it's like, man, I don't watch half of this stuff, and that's a lot of money. I mean, there's kids that want to eat, so we'd make the choice. So what we did is we put in an over-the-air antenna for the local feeds from Chicago. They still transmit TV out of Chicago, believe it or not.
Which, by the way, is the best uncompressed signal you can get is over the air.
Absolutely the best picture you can possibly get from a broadcast method is over the air right from the station.
However, what you find is trying to buy those little convenient antennas at the big box stores or Target or,
Or the one you see on the infomercial late at night. Yeah, you just stick this in the back of your TV and you unlock all these. Doesn't
That's
work
not what we're really talking about. You need a good old-fashioned antenna on top of the roof. You can still do it usually in the attic, but you are cutting down signal.
Actually, and I live pretty far out, and mine is actually is in the attic. I want to get on the roof, but it's actually been working fine, so it hasn't motivated me to move it yet, but it should be outside. If you turn a light on in the laundry room, channel 2 goes out. So we gotta. That's just because it's right above that room where the antenna.
So you don't do laundry while you're watching channel 2.
Yeah. So it needs to get outside, so we did that, and we did Netflix because at the time that was pretty much the one that everybody was going with and had everything you want to watch that wasn't available. So what are the sacrifices? Well, the sacrifices I don't get to watch a lot of sports. I like sports, but I'm not a slave to it. I don't have to watch it. Mm-hmm. And if it ever gets to an event where it's a finals or a World Series, it's going to be on broadcast TV, so I will see that.
Okay.
The playoffs you won't see,
right?
Necessarily. And through the course of the season, you'll get a handful of games that come on and off, whether it's Blackhawks or Cubs or Sox or Bulls. They'll come on Channel 9 or Channel 26. But it wasn't a deal breaker for me. The other thing you have to get used to is the fact that you're going to be a season behind watching programs. So we like to watch The Walking Dead. We won't see this current season until basically the next season comes on.
Okay.
And the current season goes to Netflix. Same with some of the other shows. Name the popular shows. They're pretty much all out there, but you don't get to watch when they're live. Not a deal breaker again because there's plenty to watch, so I can see. I'm not a slave to having.
Just be careful who you're talking to. It give away the plot.
Yeah, and it really hasn't been an issue. Listen, some of the upsides are, besides saving money, is the fact that there's a lot of great shows, especially on Netflix, like House of Cards, which they've got the promos for the new season coming out. Great content there. And the other nice thing is we can sit down, maybe it's a Saturday night, and we start watching a whatever. Maybe it's a Walking Dead or a Better Call Saul or something like that. And it plays, and I've got no commercials. And then when that one's over, the next one starts.
So you can binge watch.
We can binge watch, right? And you find yourself doing that. Your watching habits change completely from what you were used to for so many years to what it is now. And it's not a bad change. In fact, the truth is, nobody in the house was ever unhappy through the whole transition. It was quite good. So, yes, it is doable, and it saves money. Now, I do spend the $10 or $12 a month, whatever it is, for Netflix.
Sure.
And because I like convenience, I have TiVo. So TiVo can still work with over-the-air antenna. And the nice part about having a TiVo unit is the fact that it does all the DVR recording for me. So it's just like having a DVR it's better than having a DVR from Comcast or DirecTV. It's a better piece. But it can still record. I still watch stuff when I want to watch it. It goes and records it. It also blends my worlds. So it has Netflix built in. So when I search for a program, it looks on the over-the-air channels and Netflix.
Oh, so you don't have to keep going back and
forth
to
different things. I don't have to go back and forth. It unifies it into one box, right? And the truth is, we'll get to the content providers in a sec, but we're also Amazon Prime subscribers. And Amazon Prime has a lot of video content as well. So that's just the default. And YouTube is on there. Traditional YouTube. We'll talk about that in a second. Because there's now YouTube TV. It's separate of the regular YouTube.
Oh, I remember reading about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that for sure today. So all these, and there's actually more that it has built in. But it's unified in one box. So I pay the annual fee. So the annual fee for TiVo is $149. You can do it monthly for $14.99. You could do it lifetime for $549. Or you can do the annual for $149. So,
and I guess we should mention that with TiVo, or with a lot of these things, the lifetime is the lifetime of the unit, not your lifetime.
Correct. The lifetime of the unit. That's part of the reason why I don't do a full lifetime, because it breaks even about 3 to 4 years. And
technology is moving way too fast.
Technology moves fast. And listen, 3 to 4 years, and sometimes electronics are electronics. So my old TiVos are actually, which were going on 6 years old, because I upgraded last year to a Bolt and Minis. My old Premieres, so that's like 2 series ago, are currently in use over at my in-laws' house.
Okay.
They actually, TiVo had a deal on them for whatever it was. They were able to have the box for a lifetime now, because they knew it was an old box, so it was like $100 or something. They activated for a lifetime. They just cut the cord. They just cut their satellite service. They had Dish. And they put an antenna on the roof, and they're using them. So they don't all break, but at that break-even point to me, I'll pay the annual fee, and if I lose, I lose. But
right, I mean the annual fee is a good deal, and like I said, the lifetime of the box. Right. Technology is moving so fast that
the
new one
box.
comes right.
Yep.
The new one comes out, and you want it because
that's
it has
exactly
something
what
better.
It is. So in 3 or 4 years again, I'm sure there'll be way new, cooler things out from them, and we'll do that again. So. You can amateurize it how you want. You want to say it's $10 a month or $15 a month for the TiVo. It's less than that. It's $12 a month when you do it by the annual. So I'm paying $22 a month for my TV. That's it.
Okay. And what you're watching is over the air.
Over the air.
Netflix.
Yep.
Amazon, because you have
Prime. It's part of my Prime, so I don't count that as my I would have Prime whether I'm watching a video service or not, because I do it for
right.
shipping
That's
and all
sort
the
of a
rest
bonus to have.
It's just a bonus, right?
And YouTube.
Yep.
And those are the only things that you use. You don't use Roku or.
Well, yeah. So a Roku. I guess.
And I'm not sure if I understand what are streaming services, what are devices.
So let's segue into that. I like that, because I have now. David types. For those of you who don't see the background stuff going on, David every week types a sheet up, everything he wants to cover, in a script of how he wants to say it, which he never follows anyways. But and when he does read, he's reading. There's no secrets. It's on the camera. You can see it. Maybe when it was the radio show or just the audio podcast, you could see it, but or not see it. But now you see it. So there's no secrets. Where's my camera? Over here. Here's my notes. Right. Everything I need to know is right there. Other than
You're
this,
such a big guy. You write an awful lot of stuff on a little piece of paper.
Post-it notes I have lots of post-it notes. That's just how I do it. And I'm trying to transition over to some other technical more things. But you know what? A good old post-it note still does a lot. So there's the services that provide content, and then there's the devices you play them back on.
Okay.
And in some cases, they're intermixed. The service provides a device or has a device you can buy. And in some cases, the service is the service. They don't provide a device. And there are a few devices that don't provide a service.
Okay.
So, what do you want to start with, services or devices?
Let's start with devices because I think that this is what the consumer is hearing most about is a device. So they have to go and buy a device.
That's perfect. So here are the popular devices, and there's a ton of devices out there, but these are the popular ones you're going to hear. TiVo, we just talked about.
Yes.
So that's a device. While they have a service you pay for, they don't provide content. So that's just a device that doesn't provide a service. It intermixes all the services, but it doesn't provide the service. Apple TV, very popular one. And it's a little box about that big, little cube. And it, again, puts all your services together in one box. So YouTube and music, too. So you got your Apple Music is in there. And you can get your pictures and stuff. You can AirPlay to it from your phone. But it's a streaming box, right? There's no moving parts on it. You plug it in, you connect it to your TV, provides services. Fire Stick. So Fire Stick is actually from Amazon. So that's one of those ones that gets intermixed, right? But it also does other services besides Amazon. So it's just another device. And it literally is a stick. Plugs into an HDMI input. No hardwired connection for Ethernet. It relies on Wi-Fi. A lot of these devices rely on Wi-Fi. And you're sticking this thing behind your TV where there's a lot of electrical interference.
Right.
So it's a bad premise to start with, but it's the way of the world because it's a very good marketing thing. Look, a little stick, you plug in your TV, you get lots of stuff to watch. Chromecast. So Chromecast is intermingled because Chromecast is, Chrome and YouTube is all the same people.
Okay.
So Chromecast, and that's more of a device.
But Chrome is Google, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Google owns YouTube.
Okay.
So,
I didn't know Google owns
it's all
YouTube.
same people.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's all one big happy Android world there, right? Chromecast is a device that it's not really a smart device. It's more of a bridge device or an interface. So when you use it, you're actually taking another one of your devices, be it your computer or your phone or your tablet, and it's like an AirPlay type of a thing where the content's actually coming in through your device and it streams to the Chromecast to be displayed on your TV. The Chromecast doesn't really have like a menu structure or something like that. It's more of it's an endpoint for your device.
Okay. It doesn't seem like you would get very good resolution with something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you're never going to see a full uncompressed 4K signal over that. That's just not going to happen.
You have to Wi-Fi stream it.
Yes.
Okay. So there's no opportunity to hardwire this thing.
No, they don't have that hardware. Now, I'm sure as time goes along, we'll see it built into Chromecast, be built into TVs. In fact, there are some TVs now where they'll show up and you can see what devices in your house. Oh, my TV shows up my phone. I can just stream it right from here to my TV.
Okay.
So like the Sony TVs are on the Android operating system, so that'll be a native to an Android phone to be able to cast up to the TV. Samsung does it to some degree with their own TVs, and it's more proprietary, but you can have a Samsung phone, your Samsung TV, and cast what's on your phone up to your TV.
Okay. It's
that kind of device. Chromecast is more of that along those lines where you're controlling the content on your device and it then spits it over to that to be displayed in your TV. Mm-hmm. It's a way that you got to wrap your head around how that works because it's not a traditional thing built into a box. You're using your device as the content. And then Roku. You mentioned Roku before. So Roku is just another variation, like an Apple TV. It's just from a company called Roku, and they do, again, Netflix is in there, YouTube is in there. They consolidate. There are a few, some of the Apple things don't show up on other devices but Apple TVs, and then there's some other things on other devices that won't ever be on an Apple TV because they don't
play well with others.
They don't play well. So you do have to qualify yourself a little bit to what your lifestyle is, what you're using for your devices, to which one's the right one for you. Roku has a really nice 4K. We don't sell Roku here, but it doesn't break our heart either because it's not a really expensive device that, quite honestly, you make no money on. So,
right.
But we do integrate them all the time. They integrate fairly well, and they do have a 4K streaming box. So, because they're actually on YouTube, there's a ton of 4K content.
Yes.
There's a lot of 4K content on YouTube. And a lot of these services are also, we'll get to service. So these are devices that if you didn't have a TV that had it built in, you can add these boxes, or the TVs. A lot of times the ones built into a TV are not the most user-friendly. Is that a good way to say it? They don't... When you buy a streaming box to be a streaming box, the user experience is how they're going to continue to sell you boxes in the future. TV is TV for picture. They're putting other stuff on there for marketing and they give it functionality.
Sure.
But the truth is, after a few years, they probably don't update the apps on that particular TV anymore.
Okay.
Right. So
it's like, why bother?
Yeah.
You know.
So some things are okay built into TVs, and some things you're going to want the streaming boxes do a better job.
I guess you sort of think back to the days when you could buy a TV with a VCR built in or a DVD built in.
Yeah.
Eventually, that VCR or DVD is going to break. The TV's going to be fine, but then
Right.
you're always better off having a separate.
And we have seen it where TV gets old enough where they just stop updating the apps, and then the app becomes no longer compatible with the service. We've seen a few examples of that. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that'll happen as time goes by. And you don't get quality. You don't get quality of how that app works. Like with the built-in DVD player, the quality is what it was. External DVD player, you can go buy as good as you want.
Right.
So you can control the quality of what you're thinking.
And none of these devices are real expensive.
No.
Are they? I mean,
no,
Apple TV, the
on the high
ones
end,
that have some storage is $149 or $199
exactly.
or something. What is that?
I mean, the highest end TiVo is probably the most expensive
yes.
box out there. You're talking, $400 or $500 depending on which one.
But the TiVo, I believe, improves the video quality.
Yeah, the video THX certified and all the good stuff in 4K. And the newest TiVo, the biggest bolt's got 6 tuners. It's like 3 terabytes. It's 4K. It's everything built in. It's a nice, and the user interface. People who had TiVo and went away from it always wish they can go back, and a lot of times do go back.
Yes.
People who've never had TiVo don't understand why people who had TiVo do that.
Right.
But then once you have TiVo, you realize why. And I'm not saying the other ones, the X1's attempt from Comcast, it's getting better, and it's kind of neat. It's got some things. Yes, you can talk to your remote, but most people don't really want to talk to their remote. Or the DirecTV.
Unless you want to swear at it because it didn't, change what you wanted it to change.
Or the DirecTV DVRs. They've gotten better. It's still not a TiVo.
Right.
And the silly thing is that a long time ago, like the DirecTV was a TiVo.
Yes.
And then some of the cable companies in Chicago, not Comcast, but RCN, I believe, they actually still use TiVo for their DVRs because I think their standpoint is, why reinvent the wheel? This wheel works great, and we don't have to support it. It's TiVo supporting the software, so it's less work for them. So TiVo's as far as I'm concerned, is the top of the tier. But you don't have to spend it. There's TiVos for there is an over-the-air TiVo. We should probably bring this up. If you're never going to have cable, and TiVo does not work with satellite, so it's cable or over-the-air.
Right.
If you're never going to have cable, there is an over-the-air version of the TiVo that only does over-the-air. It's $3.99, and there's no there's no other service. That's it.
Right, but it's a DVR.
It's a 1 terabyte storage, full 4 tuner. You can add TiVo minis to other TVs in your house off of it. It's a full-blown TiVo. The experience is exactly the same. It's just for over-the-air, and you buy it once, and that's it. And versus some of the other, just Channel Master box and a few other oddball boxes, which are actually pretty close in price. They're not that much cheaper, if they are cheaper. They don't have the user experience that the TiVo has. So if you're an over-the-air cord cutter, that's a great investment. Mm-hmm. You're going to use that, and you're going to love it, and you're going to have all the modern features and convenience of recording shows and searching for shows and all the rest of it, and blending in your other streaming services in a $400 box set. That's it. That's your one-time cost. So it's froze. Somebody's having a connection problem, but it looks like we're still on. According to my things, we're still going. So
technology.
We can't control everything. So we are slaves to Facebook and their servers and what goes on with their servers sometimes.
So does that pretty much cover devices?
That pretty much covers the popular devices, yeah.
Okay.
That's it. So let's move on to the actual services. There's a few. I'm going to change camera angles just for a second here. Let's see if that doesn't help anybody out. Normally I can do this stuff and walk and chew gum at the same time.
Now, Netflix has to be the most popular.
Netflix is probably the most popular. I don't have the numbers to back that up.
Although I do hear people complain that there's nothing on, or the things that they really want to watch are not on there. Not as far as series, but as far as I think movies, like blockbuster movies, even a year later or so, that they're not.
Well, yeah, I mean, and they come and go. So movies change on Netflix, and they make deals with different movie houses that they'll have these for a while, and the Disney movies come and go for a while. Mm-hmm. They'll be there for a while. They do that to change content up and not be paying everybody all the time. And one of the nice things about Netflix is they've got a lot of original content, and they're growing that catalog every day, and a good majority of it's really good shows, really good content. So that's only available there. For the $10 to $12 a month that it is, I mean, what is that in terms of going to rent a movie?
Now, does Netflix have something like a yearly subscription or any sort of a deal?
I don't believe.
I mean, it's pretty inexpensive to begin with.
I think it's only that's a good. You got me, stumped me there.
Sorry,
I'm pretty sure it's only monthly, but we can check that out and we'll comment on it after the show.
So what you're paying for Netflix is basically what you would pay for a cable box that you lease, or a cable or DirecTV box that you lease every month, even though.
Yeah, an average rental charge, exactly.
Okay.
So it's not a deal breaker as far as money wise. There's a ton of content that you can find something to watch if you look. And in fact, it really opens up your catalog to stuff that maybe you've never thought about watching before. And they give you suggestions of stuff. As you watch things, they realize what kind of genres you like, and they'll make suggestions for you.
Okay.
So that's it's very, and you could watch it. You don't have to be home to watch it. Maybe you're sitting at the airport and you got your phone. You can watch it there. If you're traveling, you can watch it wherever you have an internet connection. You can watch it. I wouldn't recommend streaming it over your cell phone connection because it's going to chew up data.
Right.
But for little short stints,
and likely drain your battery quickly too.
Drain your battery too. So it's best to be on a Wi-Fi and plugged in. But for little short videos here and there, listen. There's some. One of the I like to, when I relax at night. I always take 15 or 20 minutes and watch just something on Netflix. And my latest weird thing to watch there is a show called Australian Truckers. I would have never come across it if it wasn't on Netflix, right? It just happened to pop up. Now, it popped up because I've watched the show in, what was Ice Road Truckers, and there's a show out of Canada with the towing company. I forgot what that was. Just weird things. I got to tell you, these guys, as an aside, these truckers in Australia are crazy. They're driving these giant road trains. So which is like 3 or 4 full-size trailers, and all connected together off of one semi, down roads that are basically mud. One guy took like 42 days to get to his thing that should have took a day and a half to drive because it would rain again and the road would go to mud and he couldn't drive anymore.
He's waiting until it dried out.
Literally camping out on the side of the road with his truck to make it
amazing.
Crazy. So stuff like that, right? Fun stuff. So Netflix is the big one. Vudu. That's more of a movie-based type thing where you're instead of renting movies, you're buying movies for a while to have streamed.
So what does it mean? Say I buy a movie, and how long does it exist
Depending on what,
for
well,
me?
they have different time periods, but a lot of them you get them for 48 hours or 72 hours. So you pay $2.99. It's like going to the video store, except you didn't go to the video store.
Okay.
And you need to watch it. And there's other, they have different movies. The big blockbusters might be more money in shorter time periods, but you can still do it without going somewhere. But it's still, Vudu is more around movies, not so much TV shows.
Okay.
Sling TV is one you hear a lot of advertisement for. And basically what Sling TV does is they take a grouping of a lot of the popular channels, and for X dollars per month, they got a couple of packages. You can get that. So we talked about cutting the cord, and it's not really cutting, it's shifting. So this is a shift of the cord, right? You're still spending some money on channels, right?
Right.
But you're not getting it through a normal media. You're getting it through an internet connection.
Okay.
So, when I look at this Sling thing, to me, it doesn't make sense for the amount of channels and the money. It's like, why just go get satellite again? If I'm going to spend $50 a month for 30 channels, doesn't make much sense to me.
If you travel a lot, though,
it travels with you.
If you're out of town a lot,
you can watch it wherever you're at. So that's part of the appeal there. Or maybe you're in an area where you just don't like the cable company and you can't get a shot from the satellite, but you have a good internet connection. Maybe that's another reason why you want to do it.
Okay.
Again, you got to look at all these services, look at what you need and what you want, and decide which one. We don't really recommend any. It doesn't matter to us which one you want to do.
Right.
And we really like the boxes that do multiple ones. So it's like TiVo does Vudu and Netflix and YouTube and Hulu, and so you can pick which one you want. You don't have to have all of them.
Okay.
But you have the choice.
They exist on the box. You would have to activate an account.
You type in, you basically put in your account, your name and password, and it synchronizes with the account, and away you go. Amazon Prime we did talk about a little bit. So if you're a Prime
Now, what
member-
is Amazon Prime? I mean, everybody knows Amazon Prime is free shipping, blah, blah, blah. But the television part of it or the video part of it, what does that encompass?
So they have a lot. I don't use Amazon Prime a lot because of the fact it's got a lot of the same content that Netflix does.
Okay.
You find a lot of the same. Now, they are starting to produce some of their own original content. They're just starting to do that. There's a few shows that they're doing now. They're going down that road. Listen, that business model is that's not rocket science. You make your own content that you control the rights to, and you don't have to pay somebody else to be able to show it.
Right.
Or you got to pay somebody else for every time somebody watches the program.
Right. And then there's the possibility that what you've produced is so good that others will pay you to show it.
Correct. Because
Yes.
I would be willing to bet there are people who buy Netflix, for example, because they want to see House of Cards or Orange is the New Black or some of those types of shows that are only available from Netflix because they're Netflix originals and people love them. Mm-hmm. So they'll pay it so they can watch those shows. That's where that's coming. That's why Amazon's starting to do it too. But I do see a lot of duplicate stuff between Amazon and Netflix. So I wouldn't pay, in our particular situation, I wouldn't buy Amazon Prime and have Netflix just for the TV service.
Okay,
We
so
have
just
Amazon Prime because we
as
get
a
the
bonus,
free shipping
yeah.
and other bonus. There's other stuff. There's Prime Music and there's a lot of things that come with it that make it worthwhile for what we're doing. Hulu. You probably heard that one. Mm-hmm. Another one where
So Hulu is something that is it something going on with it that doesn't seem I don't hear as much about it anymore.
they're still out there. It's just a matter of Hulu is one of the Hulu is one of the ones that have agreements with some of the big networks where they do get to play shows pretty much like the day after they air.
Oh, the network shows. Okay.
Then you can watch them like the next day. Mm-hmm. So if you have to do that, well, then that's maybe a fit for you if you want to be right up on some of those shows. It's not all the shows, but they have a deal with NBC and they have a deal with a bunch of the other ones where you can get that. In fact, I think NBC they might be part owners of Hulu.
Okay.
So that would explain where that comes from. Some people just swear by Hulu and love it. And that's what they have.
Hulu is a monthly fee. It's not
Yep.
like a free service.
No, it's not free. These are
Okay.
all these services are free.
So you actually,
They're
if
not-
you
are charged.
if you're watching network TV, you'd be much better off with a TiVo. Record it, whether you're home or not. Record it and then watch it whenever you want.
Yes, and TiVo has Hulu built in, so you could, if that's your service, it can go record those shows. And Hulu's actually more of a you basically, it's like a TiVo doesn't record an Amazon or a Netflix or a Hulu show. It just accesses them. They're in
Right.
the cloud, so
Right.
it records shows off the antenna. We didn't talk about that. Right now in Chicago, if you have a good signal, you can get 60 to 70 channels of free TV over the antenna. That's what it's up to at this point. 'Cause
Yes.
Every channel has extra channels. So now, are you going to watch some of the stuff on all those channels? Probably not.
Right. I mean, that's what the people will say. Well, is HDTV over the air or HGTV? Sorry, HGTV over the air. So you do have to look through all that stuff. And if this is your favorite show on earth,
Right.
and it's not available with any of these other services, then
Then
you're sort of stuck.
Yep, you're sort of stuck. So, all right, that was an aside. Sorry. PlayStation Vue, VUE. So you don't have to have a Sony PlayStation to get this. It actually works on a lot of devices, mobile phones and tablets and whatnot.
Really?
Yeah, there's an app for it, and it's another one of these services where for $30 a month you get there's 30 or 40 channels that they've picked out that are maybe the ones you want or not want. Again, look at the channels, look at what you want. A lot of people like that one. So there's plenty of alternatives to look at. Now, the one I was looking at the most this morning. Sorry, there's a phone call coming in. Don't they know I'm on the podcast?
I guess not.
So, the one that I was looking at this morning that was actually it looks somewhat promising is okay. So we've been used to YouTube, right?
Yes.
And then there's YouTube Red. So YouTube Red, basically, if you buy the subscription for YouTube Red, which is whatever it is, it's not much. Basically, you can watch YouTube without seeing the advertisements.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want to watch the
It's just like a Pandora service where you pay a certain amount, you don't have to.
you don't have to pay
get
for that. Yeah, you don't have
commercials.
to pay. You don't see the commercials because you're paying. They've got to make money somehow. So it's either you watch their commercial or you give them money.
Right.
So that's how that works. It's not. Somewhere at the end of the day, they have to make money to be able to provide those services. As much as people would like YouTube to just provide all kinds of free content for everybody, there's a lot of infrastructure and money involved there to make that happen.
Sure.
So if you want to watch the cat falling off the table videos without
Who
commercials,
doesn't want to watch the cat videos?
right? Then you want to have YouTube Red, and there's also some YouTube Red content. So you need to have YouTube Red to see that content. Now, so that's YouTube Red. There's also YouTube TV. Now, YouTube TV is not nationwide yet.
Okay.
They started rolling out a few months ago, and Chicago's one of the first markets. Figure that one out. YouTube Red is interesting, or YouTube TV is interesting because it actually has the live network local feeds. CBS, NBC, ABC,
Really?
Fox. Yeah, so you actually watch the Chicago stations on it. And it has, again, an assortment of channels. So they actually have FX. They actually have AMC. So if you're a Walking Dead fan, they have Comcast Sportsnet. They have ESPN and 2, FX 1 and 2. They have some of the sports channels.
Okay.
So they've got a compelling collection that sort of, if you disqualify yourself by saying I'm a sports guy, maybe now it might be something
Maybe
you can look
YouTube-
at.
Yeah, YouTube
And,
TV. Or your favorite show on earth is Walking Dead. And if you cut the cable,
now
you
you
can't get
can watch it.
So now you can.
Now you can see it. And besides working in your house, it would work on your mobile devices. So wherever you're at, you can watch it. And it's a DVR service. It actually will record your shows for you in the cloud, and you can access them later.
Really?
Yes. So that's interesting. Do they have every channel that everybody's going to want yet? No. And it's around $30 to $40 a month for the package they have. So it's definitely less than what a lot of people are paying for TV service now.
Sure. And there's no equipment really to buy.
Yeah, so that's the one thing that's a
or
little...
lease.
So it uses... When you pay your first month, you get a free Chromecast.
Okay.
So you get the free device to plug to your TV so you can stream from your phone to the TV and see it on your TV. So you're still controlling it with your phone. It's not really built into the TV.
All right.
So that's the one thing we got to see where I'm hoping, because TiVo has YouTube already built in it, maybe they can work the deal of providing the YouTube Live or YouTube TV service through the TiVo. That would be the ultimate, to be able to have it access through there. But this is, again, it's only a few months rolled out. It's not in every market yet. It's like 4 or 5 major markets at this point. But that looks promising. I mean, if anybody has the wherewithal to be able to do what they want to do, hello.
Yes.
They got plenty of
certainly do
capital
what
to
they
be
want.
able to roll this out.
Well, this is what people have been talking about for years is, you have cable, satellite, you have to buy this package.
Right.
And this package includes the 3 things you absolutely must have and 35 things that you don't give a care about.
Right.
So some of these companies are figuring out that, well, maybe if we take these most popular ones and make them a lower
them a
cost,
bundle and stream them and all that. And listen, the cable companies are fighting back a little bit. If you call to say, hey, listen, I just want your internet, I don't want the rest of your stuff. That's a lot of times they'll come back and say, well, we'll give you that. Listen, it'll be a little cheap. We'll keep the TV service and we'll make it the same or a little less, just because they need the viewership too.
Right.
So, that's good for the marketplace.
Yes.
These services coming online is going to help drive down. Cable and satellite have pretty much been unchecked for how many years? They're competing with each other only to
40?
Who can raise it faster, right? They've all been gradually raising prices everywhere. So a little competition in the marketplace is not going to hurt. And the advancement of technology. It forced DirecTV and Comcast with their Xfinity thing to be able to provide you TV on your mobile device. So if you go somewhere, right, without having those, TiVo was one of the first ones to do it. And there was actually Sling Box, not Sling TV, 2 different things. That was, you hooked it up to your cable box and it would put it on the internet for you so you could watch it when you were at home. Those developments pushed these other guys to, so it's good to have all these things. Quite frankly, there's just people who don't want to give the cable companies any more of their money and they would just assume do it a different way. So if you're a huge into audio, video, best performance type of guy, probably not a cord-cutting candidate. Okay.
I find that, David watches a lot of things on Netflix or through Apple TV, and I can't bear to watch them because the video quality is not what I'm used to. Now, when the HD transition first happened, I could watch that low resolution stuff, but I've gotten used to 1080p up converted to 4K. And I find that I just can't watch those.
All of these streaming services compress to be able to get the bandwidth out there. And even when you're watching 4K content on YouTube or Netflix has 4K content. It's not full 4K. It's compressed.
Sure.
They have to do it. A lot of them will vary it depending on your bandwidth. At the end, their devices are smart enough to realize we're not going to provide a stable picture at this rate. We're going to squish it a little bit. And
yes.
Netflix will do the audio first. They actually compress audio first and then video, which is a shame because I'm an audio guy. I'd much prefer to compress the picture a little bit. I want the better sound.
Right.
That's not how they do it. The majority of people want to have the best picture first and then sound kind of secondary. Okay, fine. So they do compress. It's not like throwing a Blu-ray player into the Blu-ray is still the best way to go.
Yes.
For best picture and sound. Watching over-the-air antenna is going to give you best picture and sound overall, but having a satellite and there's differences in the providers.
Oh, sure.
Quite honestly, Uverse doesn't look nearly as good as Comcast or DirecTV or even Dish Network to that, but they've chosen that route. They want to deliver a lower price point to their unit.
Right.
But now that AT&T has bought DirecTV, Uverse is getting phased out and they're shifting everybody over to the satellite.
Everyone over to satellite, right? But
well, and they're doing that because they need the bandwidth for the internet side. They can't be streaming TV anymore. They need the bandwidth so people can stream their TV.
Yes.
It's a big circle, right? So, we can walk you through some of the steps and to help you decide. The truth is, though, it is very possible to cut a cord these days and be satisfied and happy. We have plenty of customers. It's a very common question, and we have people who are doing it at a bigger clip than we've probably seen ever. So. And these new devices with all the streaming capabilities have enabled that. So I think that wraps up pretty good. A nice overview of what's going on with streaming.
Now, something you just said a minute ago is this content is coming in and realizes you don't have the bandwidth.
Yeah.
So it compresses it more so that you'll have a stable picture.
Yes.
Which leads us back to the network in your home, which,
yes.
The cable company with the internet provider is real happy to get the stuff to your house. Once it's there, they
right.
don't care. You're not paying them to do that. So you need to get someone else to, and we do this, get someone else to make a robust network through your house so that you can enjoy all these things.
Yep, absolutely. Including if you do want to walk around on your tablet and watch it, to make sure it's not like dropping out every 2 seconds. And well, that requires a good, robust Wi-Fi network that can handle multiple people. It's more and more people are on your Wi-Fi. We push as many things as possible when we do a network to a hardwired connection. But the truth of the matter is there's going to be Wi-Fi devices. And on average, our clients are sitting with 15 to 20 devices on their Wi-Fi network all the time.
Don't even realize it.
Don't even realize it. But then when you start counting, well, you got this and you got this and you got this. Oh, yeah, I do. Well, you can. That's a whole other show talking about network stuff. But some of these consumer grade access points for your Wi-Fi, yeah, they might be able to do an okay job with one person connected. But when you start getting 4 or 5 people and they all want to start watching something, and this is what's going on.
Yes.
This is the reality. The
right.
household at night.
It doesn't matter if you have one TV. Everyone has their own tablet or phone.
Right.
And they're in their room and they're going to watch what they want to watch.
And they're watching. Well, listen, they're watching on their tablet while they're Facebooking and
yes.
social media on the phone. All of those going Wi-Fi. You're just putting quite a load on it, and that's what. It's infrastructure in your house, and it's an investment you need to have. And listen, we've been preaching it for a long time. You've heard the commercials from some of the guys out there. Well, we got one box you put it in your house and it covers all rooms for all uses all the time.
It's
we know
magic.
That's not true.
Yes.
And that particular company is going to be rolling out a different way of doing it because they know they got to change their way too. And it's still not as good as what we're going to provide you, but at least they're making efforts to try and improve things for the customers who
right.
don't do it. So we'll do another show on networks another time because we were like way late. Evie asked me, "Are you going to watch the time?" I'll watch the time. We're way over, but you know what?
We're way over.
It's okay. It doesn't. Dave is not here, so
right.
we can do what we want.
Well, so if we're going to have to wind down here,
we can wind down. So that's that. So Evie's got this great thing over here. What's going on right now?
Well, we are having an annual store-wide spring sale. You can go on our website to see the sale items, or all the headphones are on sale. I mean, there's some really good deals on these AudioQuest Nighthawks for like $600 or $299. That's great. A bunch of Sony receivers on sale, Integra. If you're looking to get into this HDMI, internet, Bluetooth, all that kind of stuff, and you have, a 20-year-old receiver. But you don't want to spend a lot of money. We've got these B-stock Integras that have been fixed, reconditioned, whatever, and have a 2-year warranty on them. And you're talking just a couple $100 to get, like a
right, and they have
7.2
internet radio
receiver.
built in, and
yes.
they have AirPlay a lot of times built in, and it's Bluetooth.
There's also
sometimes.
a thing that I love is this Peachtree Audio Bluetooth speaker. The Deep Blue 2 has come down to $349.99, and it's just got incredible bass. It's like a tabletop radio, you Bluetooth or AirPlay or any of those things to it, and it sounds like a stereo. It doesn't sound like a portable unit.
Yeah, it actually images. If you get in front of it, it's got a soundstage to it, and it's out of a little unit.
Yeah.
It's a foot 16 inches wide. It's pretty amazing.
Right, and 'tis the season. Outdoor speakers, lots of outdoor speakers on sale. Furniture is all on sale. If you need a cool cabinet or credenza for your brand new TV, or you decide you want theater seating, we've got that. We've got it all, and virtually everything in the store is on sale.
Okay, and David's working the counter right now.
David's working the
get
counter.
In here right now.
Rush right in.
You can browbeat him all you want, and please feel free to hammer on him. All right, how do you find us? I'm going to pull up the map here. You never get to see what I do, so.
No, that's true.
So I'm going to pull up the map while you tell us everybody where we're at.
The Little Guys is located at 19031 South Old LaGrange Road in Mokina. It's basically 191st and LaGrange Road.
It's the red dot on the map if you're looking at the screen right
It's
now.
the red dot on the map. We're open Monday through Thursday from 10 until 6, Friday and Saturday from 10 until 5. We're closed on Sunday. You can call us at 708-754-8844. You can send us questions, comments, whatever, at info@thelittleguys.com. And you can go on our website and sign up for email specials, all those kind of things on our website, which is thelittleguys.com. So, this has been a very interesting video podcast. It's much easier to talk with you than with David. I don't know why.
Oh, boy.
Maybe it's because you let me get a word in edgewise.
He says he's been watching. We'll see. We'll see if that's actually true or not. But, yeah, it was good, and we'll do another thing later. Maybe we'll do networks next time.
Okay, that sounds very good. All right. Thanks, everyone, for listening and watching, and we are done. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.